wide.
300 mm of rainfall in 24 hours. It's mind-boggling.
Extremely great. We don't recognize the issue when it's in front of us.
That climate change is not just a crisis or a challenge, it's an existential challenge for us.
Indian cities are vulnerable to climate change and flooding. Delhi NCR bore its brunt this year. The years ahead could be worse.
यमुना का जलस्तर तेजी से बढ़ रहा है। आज सुबह बिल्कुल ये समझ लो 5-6 सीढ़ी नीचे था और 1-2 घंटे के अंदर 5 सीढ़ी ऊपर हो गया पानी।
सर अब डूब गया।
सरकार की तरफ से कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है।
सारी गाड़ी डूब चुकी है। ये मैंने आज तक ऐसे हालात नहीं देखे।
It was an unusual event. The national capital reeled under extreme floods. River Yamuna reached the Red Fort for the first time in 45 years. But if one reads Delhi's history, one realizes that technically this isn't flooding, but the Yamuna reclaiming its own floodplains. Unplanned construction on these floodplains has come back to haunt the city, and its victims are Delhi's residents.
Delhi began to colonize the area closer to the river. So the space for the river began to get constricted. From my knowledge, I can say a very major flood in 1948, another very major flood in 1958, 1964. After the 1978 floods, which were also very, very high, the embankments were made on both sides of the river. And then gradually we started building inside the embankments also. So if the river cannot expand horizontally, it will expand vertically. And when it expands vertically, and if it bursts through the embankments, there are openings in the embankment, then that water will spread into your neighboring areas.
But most of the colonies were planned in without any consideration of the flood, etc. Another thing which was ignored in the master plan was that Yamuna river was treated as backyard of the city, and lot of undesirable activities like sea power station, Rajghat power station, industrial areas, cremation grounds of VIPs, etc. and 76 unauthorized colonies also came up in the riverbed because it was all kind of vacant land without much protection.
It is a flood, but it is not a natural flood. It's a man-made flood. No, most of the stormwater drains that we have are old systems. Systems, for instance, going, not even colonial, going back to Firoz Shah Tughlaq in 14th century.
Most of the drains were built 50 years back, 60 years back, even some 100 years back, and lot of muck, lot of silting has taken place. So their capacity is already reduced to half to 1/3.